we're going to start with the nation. Battle rages in PDP National Working Committee. No TIN, no exemption from withholding tax. Farmers blame union scarcity, price hike on flooding and climate change. Filmmaker arrested for huge drug shipments. Petrol tanker fire wreaks havoc in Delta. And Otedela is the Nation Investor of the Year. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, let me start with one that has affected all of us. You missed it on the bottom strip. The onion farmers attribute price hike to scarcity, flood, and climate change. So they have a union, the Onion Producers, Processors, and Marketers Association of Nigeria, Upman, addressed us through their national president, Alhaja Aishat, and he gave reason. If this thing have not touched you, the whole of 2024 is that you are not living here. So we bought a bag. We're lucky. We bought ours in October, and it was still expensive. But he says that the reason, of course, is because there was flooding in 2024, which ravaged all the farms. He attributed the flooding that happened in Sokoto, Kebbi, and Farakano, Kaduna, and Katsina, and Adamawa State due to the opening of the dam in the Cameroon, the release of the Goroyo Dam, the breakage of the dam in Borno. I was like, this man is just finding an excuse. Because these onions have been expensive before the end of the year, before the last quarter of the year. But I believe him when he talks about seedling. He says that the second reason is because there's seedling issue. They lack improved seedling. They also had to import seedling. He said the third issue, of course, is the unavailability of produce due to improved seedling. And I think the third one is climate change, which he said they now have to rely on hybrid seeds from abroad, and the flooding has affected them. There's also the issue of transportation. And what he didn't mention in this report is insecurity, which I believe could have, contributed. But said this fourth quarter, whatever we see, we should manage. But I think they're also calling to government, because if we are looking to agriculture, well, I expect that the minister should be on top of this. Onion has become gold. It's a bulb, one bulb, it's over 500 naira. Yeah. And you think that they are defrauding you, that they're putting a knife to your head. You want to buy in bulk, a quarter bag was over 50,000, and we still had to share. So it doesn't make any sense, something that we can farm here. And I'm wondering, why don't we have our seedlings? Why do we always have to import sweet corn and onion? We can't even be importing onion. We should have our own seedling.
I have the National Drug Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested a wanted 61-year-old drug kingpin and Lagos socialite. Her name is Alhaja Aishat Ajoke Elediye. She was arrested on New Year's Day in her mansion at Okota. They said that the NDLEA had intercepted a truckload of illicit drug consignment from her staff member on that day. This woman is known in the underworld as Iya Ruka. She's well known. There's a particular, sorry, I can't find, okay, there's this social circle where, when I find it, I'll read it. So I think it's a well-known social circle. She's part of it. She's known. She's a association, yes. She's a well-known big socialite. I mean, if you see her picture on the page, on the front page, she's the sort of person that when you look at, you would admire and be wondering, oh, I would like to be like her. They say she's been doing this drug business from Mushin, and for many years, her identity has been a mystery, for the authorities. But finally, in this particular case, this consignment they were able to link it to her, and she was arrested. They said that it had. There was a white Izuzu truck carrying 14 jumbo sacks containing 1,540 kilograms of imported cannabis. This was being driven by her staff. Anyway, they also arrested another United States-trained Hollywood and Nollywood filmmaker, Emeka Emmanuel Mbadiwe, who is also a motivational speaker. He was arrested in his Lekki home after he was... You know him? Can you imagine? They said he has a warehouse in Ajao, and that was where, and he had gone there to collect a shipment of 33 parcels of loud, a strong strain of cannabis. Lord. Like, look at the levels. I'm happy now. We're moving on to the levels, the big guys.
We used to complain that it was the street guys.
Yes, so now we're going to the big guys.
But they say anything about so if you don't know the race your friend run, and make money, you will run mad.
Yes.
Motivational speaker, socialite, pepper them,
yes,
mind your lane.
Be careful.
Stay your lane.
Let me just put out there that as obvious, they are fake, there's also original. So let's just not look at the fake and think there won't be original.
No, but this is a quite painful one.
This is a criminal.
Okay.
You know, I have the story of really sad incidents that happened in Agbo, Delta State, where a truck carrying petrol burst into flames. So it was trying to make a turn. It was trying to do a U-turn along the Lagos-Asaba road, and its brake failed. And when it tipped over and spilled 33 liters of fuel and burst into flame, and everywhere the fuel was spilling into caught fire. They do not know the number of casualties. It was really bad. But one thing they know for a fact is that over 10 houses and several vehicles around the scene got burnt. Of course, the governor has extended his condolences to those who have lost their lives and properties within that space, and is asking that the Emergency Management Agency and the Ministry of Health, all the authorities should work together in providing support for the victims and those who have survived the fire incidents. And our heart really goes out to them. We can't, it's possible for Nigerian, for trucks to fall and not burst into flames. There are kind of, there's something they use in producing tank vehicles that would ensure that even if it falls, it won't burst into flame. Yeah. So it means we've not valued human life enough for us to ensure that all petrol,
the last Delta State tanker fire, we had full of shows where all their representatives from Nupeng, what's the other one called? Bengason. Were on the show talking about how to put an explosion-proof something.
Yes, on each tank.
And to date, we still having this happen.
Okay, so firms, according to the withholding tax payment regulation reform, which Mr. Taiwo had talked about on Your View, January 1st. It says, just to reiterate it, the nation carried the story that firms without the TI, and that's the tax identification numbers, will not enjoy the exemption from the withholding tax payment. And this is one of the conditions stipulated in the withholding tax reform bill, which took effect January 1st, 2025. In the new regime, small businesses with low margins of returns are completely exempted from payment of withholding tax. However, they have been mandated by the federal government to deduct withholding tax while making payments to any of their suppliers without TIN. Suppliers who exceed 2 million naira payments per month will also not enjoy the exemption from payment of the withholding tax. So, however, if a small business fails to deduct tax as mandated, it may face administrative penalties. So these are some of the reforms that we've been seeing, especially business holders. This is time for us to pay attention to what the law is saying so that we don't fall outside the law. It's important that we are working within the law. Let me move on very quickly now to The Nation. All marketers seek 100 billion naira bailout from federal government. We need more private sector persons in government, says Tinubu. Nigeria imports 31.8 million litres of petrol daily to breach local refining shortfall. Government killed Mayeti Allah chairman, 2 others in Katsina. Federal government to spend 4 billion naira on presidential helipad jetty in Lagos. Nigeria, 9 others win $10,000 cash prize, which in Pastor Oyakhilom's Foundation Award. Saudi Arabia, 3 Nigerians discharged, acquitted over drug trafficking. That's great news. Yeah. And Serap demands probe of missing 825 billion naira, $2.5 billion for refinery repairs and others. Okay, let's take one story for the break.
Okay, the Saudi Arabia. So 3 Nigerians that were arrested and prosecuted for drug trafficking in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have been discharged and acquitted. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says that 3 Nigerian nationals, Hadiza Abba, Fatima Mala and Fatima Gamboy, were arrested, prosecuted for drug trafficking March 5th, 2024 at the Prince Mohammed bin Abdul Aziz International Airport, Medina, Saudi Arabia. They were released after they had spent 10 months in detention. So these women, they said, were arrested. Before they were arrested, the 2 Nigerian nationals were arrested. They were found in possession of 80 capsules of cocaine weighing 900.28 grams and 70 capsules of cocaine weighing 789 grams, respectively. And these women were detained on suspicion of being accomplices and also aiding and abetting the trafficking of the banned substance found on the 2 Nigerians that were arrested. But the ministry says that this arrest of the 3 ladies attracted a lot of attention. I remember we spoke about it, so in Saudi Arabia as well as in Nigeria. And the release is as a result of prolonged diplomatic and legal engagement, which led to their discharge and acquittal, and also subsequent handover to the consulate of Nigeria in Jeddah. So it's, we're happy because many times we've said sometimes Nigerians are treated badly or just assumed to be criminals without, proper steps taken just because we're from Nigeria. And when we see that we put in the right pressure, diplomatically from our country, then we're able to save innocent Nigerians from just being locked up. So this is a win for us, yes.
Let's go to a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.